On December 2nd, 1993, the most powerful drug lord on earth ran across a Medellín rooftop, barefoot, bleeding, and clutching a pistol he knew he would never fire. For years, Pablo Escobar had escaped armies, satellites, elite commandos, and even the CIA. But that afternoon, his empire, his money, and his luck finally disappeared. This is the real story of Pablo Escobar's final 72 hours. A story of betrayal, obsession, and a hunt that became personal. Before we begin, remember, not everything is as it seems. Because Escobar's death wasn't just the result of Colombian police work, it was the product of a hidden war involving U.S. intelligence, corrupt politicians, and one of the most ruthless vigilante groups Latin America has ever seen, Los Pepes. Let's start 3 days before the fall. By late 1993, Escobar was no longer the king of Medellín. He was hiding in cheap apartments, living with only one bodyguard left, El Limón, his trusted driver. The Medellín Cartel had collapsed, his money laundering network was shattered, and most of his sicarios were dead or had switched sides. The government had unleashed the elite search team known as Bloque de Búsqueda, advised and equipped by the CIA, DEA, and U.S. Delta Force. But something even more dangerous hunted Escobar. Los Pepes, a vigilante death squad made of his former allies and rivals, men who knew his every hideout. And they wanted revenge, not justice. Revenge. Everything began to unravel when Escobar escaped from his own luxurious prison, La Catedral, the prison he had built himself. The government tried to move him to a real penitentiary. Escobar refused. He slipped out through a back door and vanished. This humiliated President Cesar Gaviria, who then unleashed the full power of the state. From this moment on, Escobar was living on borrowed time. Colonel Hugo Martinez, commander of Bloque de Búsqueda, had one obsession: find Escobar. But the colonel wasn't the only one obsessed. His son, Lieutenant Hugo Martinez Jr., handled the radio interception system. He listened to Pablo's phone calls for months, often for 16 hours a day. He knew Escobar's voice better than anyone. Escobar's biggest weakness was his love for his family. He couldn't resist calling them, not even when he knew the government was listening. And this is what finally doomed him. December 2nd, 1993, a rainy Thursday afternoon. Escobar calls his son, Juan Pablo, for the second time that day. This call lasts more than a minute, far longer than his usual 20-second coded messages. He comforts his son, tells him not to worry, and then, with uncharacteristic confidence, he says, "We'll be together soon." Colonel Martinez's son triangulates the signal. They find the neighborhood, Los Olivos. They isolate a block, then a street, then a single house. After 16 months of constant searching, Pablo Escobar had finally made a mistake. Bloque de Búsqueda storms the area. Neighbors run indoors. Dogs howl. Escobar looks out the window and instantly understands. They've found him. He grabs his pistol. El Limón grabs an assault rifle. Together they run to the roof. The chase lasts only a few seconds. Machine gun fire echoes through the neighborhood. El Limón goes down first. Multiple shots. Pablo fires wildly behind him, but then a bullet hits his leg. He stumbles, falls onto the tiles, and tries to crawl. Another shot hits him in the torso. Then a final bullet hits him near the right ear. He dies instantly. Or did he? To this day, there are 3 theories about Escobar's death. 1. Killed by Bloque de Búsqueda. The official version, A Colombian sharpshooter ended Escobar's life. 2. Killed by Los Pepes. Witnesses reported seeing unknown men arrive before the police, men with no badges who opened fire. These men were believed to be Los Pepes, possibly with help from the CIA. 3. Escobar killed himself. Escobar always said he would never be taken alive. The fatal wound was near his right ear, suspiciously similar to his preferred suicide method. His family believes this version. The government refuses to reopen the case. Too many powerful groups were involved. After Escobar's death, his cartel shattered overnight. Properties were seized. Millions of dollars disappeared. Former allies fled the country, but the violence didn't end. In the vacuum he left behind, new cartels rose: Cali, Norte del Valle, and eventually the Sinaloa and CJNG cartels in Mexico. Escobar's death was not the end of narco warfare. It was only the beginning of a new phase. Pablo Escobar was a man who believed he could challenge a nation, and for a time, he did. He bribed presidents, built an army, and controlled an entire industry worth billions. But in the end, he died alone, on a rooftop, hunted by everyone he once trusted. A king without a kingdom, a legend without a future. His final mistake wasn't a gunfight, but a simple phone call home.